Hello everyone, Gaza Mutkosh, and I welcome you all to the session on managing list, dictionaries, and sets in Python. So guys, let's have a look at the agenda for this session. So far we have discussed the different list properties, the list functions that we can use, and how to utilize list effectively. So in this session, we shall be covering list comprehension. We'll see how to utilize list comprehension with if-else and simply the if statement. We'll also have a look at utilizing how to utilize list comprehension with nested for loops as well, and we'll see a couple of different examples. So guys, I'm switching to the Jupyter screen to proceed further. So guys, over here we are in the Jupyter screen. So guys, let's get started. When we talk about list comprehension, right? Previously we have discussed how to create list. Now, list comprehension is an easy and effective way of creating list in just one line. So list comprehension is a concise and elegant way to create lists in Python. Now it allows you to construct a new list by applying an expression to each item in an iterable, right? So किसी भी अगर suppose we do have an iterable, उस iterable के पे we can apply some expression, and based on that expression a new list can be generated. So that syntax can be encapsulated in what we refer to as list comprehension. So it allows us to construct a new list by applying an expression to each item of an iterable. So we can choose to have a list in the beginning, and based on that list we can apply list comprehension to modify it, maybe to manipulate it and create another list based on the requirements that we may have. So list comprehension can be generated out of, let's say, list, tuple or even range function. So guys, let's have a look at the syntax. यहाँ पे जो हमारे पास list comprehension का syntax है, it goes like expression square bracket के अंदर expression for item in the iterable. Now iterable can be list, it can be dictionary, it can be set, it can be tuple, it can be string, it can be range function as well. Typically we use range function, but depending on the requirement, let's say the requirement changes. So let's understand this with the help of an example. Now over here I'm having an example. This is a very simple and very basic example. For instance, W1 is an empty list. All right. So this is an empty list. Now अब इस empty list के लिए what am I doing? For I in range 5 to 11, I want to populate the list with numbers from 5 to 10. So for I in range 5 to 11, यहाँ पे what is my start? My start value is 5, my end value is 11, and the step size happens to be +1. So W1 dot append I. So I की हर एक value starting from 5 all the way up to 10 will be added in this list one by one. First 5 will be added, then 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. This is how the elements will be added, right? So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. This is how the elements are added. Now over here what I can do, I can write W2 is equal to I for I in range 5, 11. So this is how, let's say, I'm writing the same code, the same logic which we have written over here in 3 lines, except for the print statement. So the 3 lines of code can be concised in just one line. Inside list comprehension, we don't have to use append. Whatever elements we wish to populate the list with has to come in the front. Before the for loop, we have to write the data that has to be populated. So I for I in range 5, 11, it simply implies कि in this range 5, 11 वो सारे elements जो इस range में lie कर रहे हैं, right? That is what we are representing using the I variable. That I variable is what I want this list to be populated with. So I for I in range 5, 11. Now, unlike the normal for loop syntax where we write colon syntax we don't use in list comprehension. तो जिस भी डेटा से हमें append करना है, that goes first in the square bracket, and because we are wrapping it in square bracket, it indicates that we are utilizing the list comprehension. Had it been curly brackets, it would have been set comprehension, right? So as we can see, we are getting the same output. Currently we are getting the exact same output, right? So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've written the same code in 4 lines. Now again 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've written the same code in just 2 lines. So this is the effectiveness, or this is how we can utilize lists more effectively utilizing the list comprehension. Now let's understand another example using if in list comprehension. For instance, over here I'm writing W3 is an empty list. Let's say for I in range, and maybe the range that I'm considering is 10 to 21. From the range 10 to 21, it means my start value is 10, my end value is 21, and the step size is +1. The step size that I have over here is +1. So if I mod 3 is equal to 0, if the number I is divisible by 3, all right, So I matlab 10 से 20 के बीच में, if at all there we do have numbers that are divisible by 3. So what I want to do, w3 dot append I. So all the numbers that are divisible by 3 in the range 10 to 20, I want them to store in the list. And now if I print this, if I print w3, so clearly we can see the numbers between 10 and 20 that are divisible by 3 are 12, 15 and 18. Now it took us 5 lines to write this code. We can replicate the same using just 2 lines in list comprehension. So what needs to be done? If you are using if in, let's say, list comprehension, if comes before the for loop. In the left to right direction, first we'll have to write if, then followed by the for loop. So I need to write I for I in range. Range हमारा क्या है? Range is 10 to 21. And what is the condition if I, let's say, okay, if there is only if condition, अगर हमारे पास सिर्फ और सिर्फ we just have an isolated if condition, it comes at the end of the for loop. After the for loop we have to write if I mod 3 equals to 0. Alright, so the same logic has been incorporated in the list comprehension as well. I'll show you the result. Okay, this is spelling mistake. Yeah. So as we can see, I for I in range 10, 21 if I mod 3 equals to 0. So ये जो if वाली condition है, again without the colon, this goes after the for loop. So over here I can write, let's say when only, let's say if condition is used in maybe list comprehension, in comprehension in general. All right, it is written after for loop. ये आपको for loop के बाद में लिखना है, correct? And if there are, let's say, 2 conditions, if there are more than 2 conditions, if else condition, let's say, is used in comprehension. If this is the case, then it is written before for loop. Now this is a very important rule that we have to follow. So इसका भी example देखेंगे अभी हम. Now instead of this, what if I wanted to use if else? So if else means implies 2 conditions, right? So let's try to come up with an example. W5 is an empty list. Now for I in range maybe 10 to 21. 10 से 21 के बीच में if I mod 3 equal to 0, maybe w5 dot append I. But otherwise I want to append else w5 dot append, I want to write maybe I into, let's say, 2. Means I want to multiply each numbers by 2 which are not divisible by 3. So guys, let's have a look, and then I'll print w5. So first number is 10, 10 is not divisible by 3, so 20. 11, 11 becomes 22 because it's not divisible by 3. 12 is divisible by 3, so I'm writing 12. Next, 13, 14 will be multiplied by 2, so we'll get 26, 28. 15 is divisible by 3, so 15. 16, 17 again not divisible by 3, so 32 and 34 they have been multiplied by 2. 18 is divisible by 3, so as it is 19 and 20 multiplied by 2. Now how to write the same logic in, let's say, comprehension? So what I need to do, for I in range, over here I'm writing 10, 21. All right, and after 10, 21, because we are using, let's say, if else, so if else comes before the for loop. So I need to write I if I mod 3 equals to 0. All right, else I into 2. So how do we read it? If then the I that comes from this range, if it is divisible by 3, we'll populate the list with I. Otherwise, we have to multiply it with 2. All right, so the result would be same. Let's check. So guys, clearly we can see that the result obtained over here is perfectly the same, right? So we have 20, 22, 12, 26, 28, 15, 32, 34, 18, 38 and 40. Exactly the same result. Over here we have utilized 6 lines of code. Over here is just 1 line of code, replicating the same structure. So I hope these examples are clear to everyone. You can practice it on your own. You can try re-attempting the same problem or a similar problem on your own, right? To further, let's say, strengthen your grasp. Now, how to utilize nested for loop in list comprehension? So first have a look at what nested for loop looks like. Over here I'm writing for I in range maybe 2 to 5. 2 to 5 indicates the start value is 2, the end value is 5, and the step size over here that I'm using is +1. Now for j in range, maybe over here I can utilize, let's say 5 to 11. So over here the value that I is going to take, the value that I is going to take is 2, 3, okay. I will take the values 2, 3, 4 and j will take the values. यहाँ पे हम लिख सकते हैं start is 2, the end value is 5, and what is the step size? The step size is, the end value is 11. The start value is 5, end is 11, and the step size is +1. So अगर हम यहाँ पे देखें, so what values is j going to take? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So these are 6 numbers, right? Okay, let's do one thing. Let's start from 5 to maybe let's say 6 to 10, 6 to 11. So now I becomes 6, j becomes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the value that I is going to take is 2, 3, 4. Now, so अगर हम इसको print करें, first of all just have a look कि यहाँ पे what are we getting as the output. So अगर हम first I'm printing I, then I'm printing j. So if you observe this carefully, what is the output obtained? When I is 2, j takes up all the values 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When I is 3, then again j takes up all the values 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in one iteration at a time. And then when I becomes 4, the first value of j is 6, then followed by 7, then 8, then 9, and then 10. Alright, so this is how we are supposed to, let's say, understand this. So आप देख सकते हो I2 पे 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then I3 पे again 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I4 पे again 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in total we have a list of, let's say, total 15 times the loop is running, right? The nested for loop is running 15 times, 5 for each of the I values. Now my condition over here is if I plus j mod 2 is equal to 0. If sum of I plus j is even, if sum of I plus j is even, w7 dot append, what do I append? I'm simply appending I into j. Alright, and if not, then I'm appending, okay, then I'm appending 0. So out of the 15 use cases, not in every case the sum is even, right? Sum kahan pe even hai? Let's observe this. At I2, when j is 6 and when j is 8 and when j is 10. So यहाँ पे I'll be getting, so I2 पे I should be getting 12, 16 and 20, right? Then I3 पे again there would be couple of values. Ab j has to be, let's say, odd to make this even, then we'll have 9. So 3 plus 7 would be 10 and 9 plus 3 would be 12. So I into j over here will get 21 and 27. And likewise एक बार check कर लेते हैं. So then I'm printing W7. Just observe this. The first combination is 2 and 6. I is 2, j is 6. So 2 into 6 would be 12 because the rule is valid. Next, 2, 7. 2, 7, the combination is not even, the sum is not even, so 0. Then 2, 8, sum is even, so I'm getting 16. 2, 9, odd, so 0. 2, 10, the sum is, let's say, even, so 20. So this is for I is equal to 2. Then for, let's say, I is equal to 3, the values would be 3 into 6, 3 plus 6, odd, so 0. 3 plus 7 even, so over here I'm getting 21. Then 3, 8, odd, so 0. 3, 9, the sum is even, so 27. And 3, 10, it's 0, right? For 3, 10, it would be 0. Alright. Next for 4. So 4 के लिए हमारे पास कौन कौन से options हैं? At I is equal to 4. At I4, what are the values that j is going to take? Matlab, of course, all the values I'm just mentioning the even ones. So यहाँ पे for 4 with 6, then 8 and then 10. So 4 into 6, 24, then 4 into 8, 32, and 4 into 10, 40. And for 4, 7 and 9 will get 0. So if you observe over here, 4 into 6, 24, then 4, 7 is odd, so 0, 4, 8 even, so 32, and 4, 9 would be again odd, so 0, and 4, 10 even, so 40. Now we have written this code in 7 lines, right? We have written this code in 7 lines and we have utilized 1 line for printing. So this was our logic. Now we can replicate this entire code, the 7 lines of code, into just one line utilizing list comprehension. How can this be done? So over here I can simply say W8 would be I for I in range 2 to 5, for j in range, j की भी range हमारी क्या है, that is 6 to 11, and then because we have if else condition, right? So if we need to display I into j, if I plus j, let's say mod 2 double equal to 0, else 0. I into j, if I plus j mod 2 double equal to 0, else 0 for I in range 2 comma 5, for j in range 6 comma 11. So I've replicated the same logic. अगर आप यहाँ पे देखो, so I plus j mod 2 यहाँ पे 0 है. This is let's say sum is even, right? So when the sum is even, I want to simply multiply the two elements I and j, and when the sum is odd, I simply wish to display 0. So let's see if we are getting the same result or not. So guys, if you observe, the result is entirely same. We have 12, then 0, 16, 0, 20, then 0, 21, 0, 27, 0, 24, 0, 32, 0, and 40. So guys, now we have understood how to utilize, let's say, list comprehension under different circumstances. We have seen how to utilize list comprehension simply. We have seen how to utilize list comprehension with if condition, how to utilize list comprehension with if else, and the utilization of list comprehension with nested for loop. Now, besides these options, let me give you a couple of examples. For let's say I want to solve this question, right? I have a list of words. Let's say we have Google, then we have LinkedIn, all right, then we have Meta, then we have Microsoft, all right, then we have OpenAI. Now I want to find length of each word in the list. So how can I find the length of each word? Now I want to solve this. Solve using, I want to solve this without comprehension and with comprehension, right? And with comprehension, and of course I'm talking about list comprehension. So दोनों तरीके से इसको solve करते हैं, right? So this is the list of words that I have. Let's assume this is the first practice example that we are observing. So this list of words में the first approach is to solve this without list comprehension. So इसके लिए हम यहाँ पे क्या कर सकते हैं? What can be done? For I in words, all right, I can write W length. W length is length of words. For I in words, I could have used, let's say, even index wise iteration, but currently I'm going with, let's say, element wise iteration. Now W length dot append, what do I need to append? Length of I. All right, I want to display the length of I, and then I can print W length. Okay, this is W length 1. Yeah. So Google consists of 6 characters, LinkedIn has 8 characters, Meta, this is Meta. Meta has 4 characters, then Microsoft has 9 characters, and OpenAI has 6 characters. So this is how we have solved the same question without list comprehension. And if I were to solve with list comprehension, just observe how easy it becomes. So W length 2 would be, let's say, length of I for I in range, for I in words, and then I can print W length 2. See, I'm getting the exact same answer, right? The result is entirely the same. All right, now let's consider a few more examples. Now over here I want to find, let's say, find factors of a number n. Find all factors of the number n. And what is n? N, let's assume, is a user input. Now previously we have seen what a user input looks like, right? So again, solve, let's try to solve it both ways. solve without comprehension, and solve with comprehension. So if I were to, let's say n is user input, over here I am writing integer input, then maybe enter the number. To n would be the number जिसके हमें factors निकालने हैं. So if I were to solve this without list comprehension, I'll be writing factors 1. Factors 1 is an empty list. Now over here I'll be writing for I in range, let's say 1 say n plus 1. Why I'm starting from? Because when we are counting factors, we start the factor, let's say factors we do start from 1, not 0, and n plus 1 because n would obviously be the factor of n. Any number is always going to be a factor of itself, right? So from I'm iterating from 1 to n plus 1, I just need to check if n is divisible by, let's say, all these numbers in this range. So what can be done if n mod I, if n mod I is equal to 0, maybe I can say factors 1 dot append I. Alright, and over here I can print, let's say, factors of n are, okay, let me write it simply, factors of n are, what are the factors? Factors of n are factors 1. Alright, these are the factors. So first I have to enter the number. Suppose I'm entering the number as maybe 24. Let's see what are the factors of 24. The factors of 24 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12 and 24. Let's experiment it for a different number. Maybe I want to find the factors of 52. So the factors of 52 are 1, 2, 4, 13, 26 and 52. What about 16? So for 16 the factors are 1, 2, 4, 8 and 12. Alright. So guys, let's try to replicate the same logic with comprehension. So maybe n1 integer input, and again over here I'll pass enter the number, and once the number has been entered, then I'll say factors 2 would be for I in range. What is the range that I shall be passing? I'll be passing 1 comma n1 plus 1, and I want to populate it with I, provided the condition if let's say n1 mod I equals 0. Only if n1 mod I equals to 0, I want to populate the list with all the I. I is, let's say, a number in the range 1 to n plus 1, where what is the condition? If n1 is divisible by I want to populate the list with those I. So next I can print factors of n1 are factors. Alright, or maybe n2. Let's call this n2. Alright, this is how we define n1 and n2. Let's see, enter the number. Maybe over here I wish to enter 95. So what are the factors of 95? 1, 5, 19 and 95. I want to see the factors of 75. So we have 1, 3, 5, 15, 25 and 75. So guys, this is how we can, let's say, find all the factors. Now I have a question, another question maybe. Suppose this is a list of numbers, maybe 4, 6, 5, 7, 10 and 12. Alright, now I want to find, let's say, square of even numbers and cube of odd numbers. Alright, if this is my question and I just want to solve it using comprehension, solve using list comprehension. So if I were to solve this using list comprehension, how to proceed with this? I want to find square of all even numbers and cube of all odd numbers, right? So let's say I'm calling this result. Result would be my final list, right? Result वो list है जिसमें हम इस output को store करेंगे. So how are we going to store this? So for I in numbers. Now based on the data, we have to observe that does solving this requires iterating over the index or iterating over the element. Now under any circumstance would we need the index? Based on the question's requirement, it doesn't seem that we might be needing the index, right? So over here means I can simply iterate on the element wise. I can proceed with the element wise iteration. Now for I in number, over here I have to check if, let's say, I want to find the square of even numbers, right? So if I, let's say, if I mod 2 equals to 0, if I mod 2 equals to 0, I want to display this. All right. So if the number is not even, if the number is not even, it is bound to be odd. So else I would be writing I mod 3. So I mod 3 is the cube. So let's see the result. So ideally, what are we expecting? For even numbers, I want square. So it would be 16, 36, and over here we'll be getting 100 and 144. 1636 for 5 it would be cube, so I'll get 125. For 7 it will be cube, so it will be 343. So let's start from the beginning. 4 is even, so the result is 16. 6 even, so square is 36. 5 is odd, so the cube is 125. 7 is odd, so the cube is 343. Then 10 is even, so the cube is 100. Square is 100, and 12 is even, so the square is 144. So guys, this brings us to the end of this session. So I'm switching to the PPT again. So guys, through this session, we have understood how to, let's say, understand and implement list comprehension under different scenarios. We have seen how to effectively utilize the list comprehension. In the upcoming sessions, we shall be understanding and exploring the concepts of dictionary and nested structures. Thank you.